Hey everyone, and welcome to the Nonstop Journey, where I talk about my personal journey to becoming a professional footballer, what's currently going on in my professional journey, and the many ups and downs along the way, lessons learned, and hopefully I'll be able to share some insights that can help you on your journey towards a better life, a better career, and simply getting to where you want to be. Starting with that, today's episode is going to be about my own story and my own journey, because I think it's important for you to understand where I want to go, but to be able to understand where I want to go with this and what I want to sort of accomplish, it's important to understand what's happened so far. So to give you some context, I started playing football when I was 5 years old. That's the first sport I ever played, but I also joined different sports like handball, gymnastics, dancing. So there's been several sports of interest along the way, but it all started with football and it all ended with football. Because there was a point in time when I was around 14, 15, where I had committed myself to go to a handball tournament. And then all of a sudden there was a football tournament at the same time. And I told my dad, like, hey, I want to go to play the football tournament. That's where most of my good friends are going to be. I think that's the most fun. And he told me that, you know what? You can't, because you committed yourself and you told me and everyone else that you're going to go to this handball tournament. So you will go there. You made a commitment and you need to stick to it. So that's a principle I learned quite early. What that principle also taught me is that you can't do everything at once. I think it's very important to do several sports to begin with. I mean, early in life, when you're a child, teenager, early adult, because you learn so many different skills and that's useful. But at that point, I said that, okay, I will go to the handball tournament. I did it. I finished that. But then once that handball tournament is over, I'm going to quit and I'm only going to play football. That was my commitment afterwards. Because I realized that you can't do everything at once. There are priorities in life. There are certain things that comes before other things. But you need to choose and choose wisely. Figure out what you want and then do the things that you like the most. For me, that was football. So I played in my local club until the age of around 15, 16. And that's where I made the transition to the club that I currently play for as a senior player at the first team, but at the under 19s team at that time. So I play under 19s at Raufoss. I started out in Gjøviklund from age 5 to 16. Then I played in Raufoss from age around 15, 16 to 18, 19. So at the under 19s level. I also was I don't know what you call it, a hospitant. I was a player from the academy or on the 19s that went up to the first team to train. So I played some B team games in both 4th division and 3rd division, and I trained with the first team. I was even actually on the bench with the first team for, I think, 3 games in total. I didn't end up playing, but it's pretty cool to think about. Like at the age of 17, I was on the bench in Obos League, which is quite a high level. Anyway, from there on, I transitioned to another local club to play 3rd division at a senior level. That was the year of COVID, so season was cancelled, didn't play any official games. Later on, I transitioned to going to college. That was a major step for me. You see, going to college was a big pivotal point because I chose to both study and play football at the same time and move to a completely new continent. Going there was one of the greatest experiences of my life so far. I got tons of new friends, contacts, lessons, and there's just so many moments from that time that I appreciate looking back at it. But my college career wasn't maybe the most successful because me and the coach perhaps didn't have the best relationship ever. I wasn't his type of goalkeeper in a way. And, that's fine. But there were a lot of other valuable lessons that I did learn along the way. Some of those lessons I will talk about further into this podcast. Right now, I think it's important that I just prolong this explanation of what's my journey looking like. And to follow up on that, I went 3 years to college. I played every year pretty much. First year was COVID. That meant the season was canceled. But the 2 other years, we were quite competitive. Our team did well. I was the first choice for my third year of college to begin with. And then coach actually picked me out of the team at the game that I ended with a clean sheet. And yeah, so it was very confusing and challenging at the time, but a valuable lesson. Then from college, I chose to drop out actually after my third year. So to graduate college with a bachelor's degree, it's a 4-year degree in the States, meaning I did 3 out of the 4 years in a degree of finance and entrepreneurship. So it was a double major. But being a college athlete, that helped me take some step in other areas. So I got more disciplined. I learned about self-development. I started reading books. I started actually investing into myself and my own development, my knowledge, and I got way more serious about my own journey in sports as well. Because it was only at the time where I didn't play too much that I'd started taking steps that I was maybe a bit too comfortable to take otherwise. For example, starting my non-stop goalkeeper channel, that was a decision I made because I was benched. I was not playing, but I wanted to inspire and help other goalkeepers along their journey because I've gone through and experienced those things. I found tools and I found ways to work around them, to make the most of them. And those are the things that I want to share with others because I think they're helpful. So I can carry the scars so they don't have to, or so you don't have to. That's my whole motto. Anyway, going from college, I went back to Lillehammer in Norway to play senior 4th division, and I signed a semi-pro contract. Earned some money there, not a huge load or anything, but like enough to sustain my way of living. And I made a decision that I wasn't going to go back to the States. I signed for Lillehammer to play out the full season, and what was interesting is that decision to go all in on my football and to make the most of it here at home in Norway was a very brutal decision, and looking back at it, maybe a bit of a risky decision because I quit my degree at college, my educational path. I didn't have any certainty about signing any contracts or making any deals that would actually sustain me for a living, making me a full-time professional. But I figured that it was either all or nothing at that point. 1 year after playing in Lillehammer, I got my first professional contract. That's when I signed for Hønefoss, which is another hour and a half maybe from my hometown, about 2.5 hours from Lillehammer. And I signed a 2-year deal there. That was one of the most proud and special moments maybe in my career so far, because you work so hard towards getting to that point where you sign a pro contract and then you actually do it and you achieve that dream. That was massive. I think the year was 2024 or 2023 maybe. I think it's 2023, yeah. And I'm telling you, like, that moment was huge. It confirmed to me that the thing that I'm going for, the thing that have been chasing for so long, it's actually within reach and I'm capable of it, because I just proved to myself that, yeah, there's a club that is willing to invest into me. They're paying me a good wage, a good salary to have me on the team. And it was definitely a transitional moment, because from that point on, there's never been a way back. There's always been just go, go, go. Not saying that there hasn't been that from like prior to it, but it's there with more certainty, if you know what I mean. I don't know how else to explain it. But going on from signing my first pro contract, I played there for a year. Didn't play too many games, unfortunately, but it is what it is. As a goalie, you're either like in or out in a way, and I wasn't chosen to be the first goalie. That's another topic for later as well, by the way, getting recruited as number 1 and number 2. But anyway, I terminated my contract because I had a clause in my contract that I could go if I didn't play X amount of games, and I didn't play that amount of games, meaning I could go as a free agent. I then signed for FC Oslo as a third division club in Oslo and made some career highlights there. I saved 3 penalties against Vålerenga in the cup, kept my team in the game during the game, and basically beat them out of the first round, a third division team against an Eliteserie team. That made national news. That sort of got everyone's attention that, hey, maybe this guy isn't just a social media profile, but he's actually a good goalkeeper as well. And throughout the season, I played the full season, performed very solid. I kept my team in many games and yeah, had a very solid season overall. We finished number 4. I would say like mainly because we weren't as consistent as the top teams, especially against the lower end teams. But overall, a very solid season. Then from FC Oslo, I got offered a professional contract in Obos League at Raufoss, which is close to my hometown, where I used to play as a under-19 player. And I recently now, in February, signed a 2-year deal with Raufoss, which is in Obos League, the second highest league in Norway. And yeah, that's sort of the biggest major step I've taken towards my professional dream as playing in Eliteserien and being a starter at the top level in Norway. I'm getting closer to it. And now it's all about just focusing on the opportunity that I have in front of me in Obos League, making the most out of every day, and being ready when the opportunity comes. Because the opportunity will come. It's just a question of when. And when that happens, I will be ready. That's the most important. Just to stay sharp, be physically fit, prevent injuries, and focus on the things that I can control in the meanwhile. I'm creating this podcast, by the way, to document this journey, to tell you exactly where I'm at in my path, where I'm at in my journey, what's going on right now. And to finish on top of the whole journey, I'll tell you a bit about where I'm at right now. I got recruited into a position that I can challenge the first goalie, which is totally fair. And I'm still in a challenging position because I'm not chosen as the first goalie at the moment. Although I was also aware of that going into this, meaning that it's not a shock. It's not a like, oh shit, what happened here? But I think it's a very fun challenge to take on as well. I'm challenging a better goalie that I've ever competed against. I'm at a higher level than I've ever been to before. And I'm actually a full-time professional. So there's so much to be grateful for. There's so much fun about this whole journey of sort of taking steps every day and becoming better and better. And it's also exciting to know that my time will come. It's not a question of if, but it's a question of when. And the only thing I can do in the meanwhile is to be ready when my time comes. And that's all I focus on. Improving slightly every day. Preventing injuries, staying fit, healthy, taking care of my body, my mind, my soul, my relationship, and then also progressing in other areas. Meaning that if the football doesn't go to plan at a certain moment in time, well, I have other things going well. My family relations are good. I'm building my social media brand and my personal brand by starting this podcast, which is exciting. It's something that is progression. Like I can feel the progression. I can feel the development. And then lastly, I'm all about the journey. It's not that I have to be at a certain place to really feel the satisfaction and the happiness and the joy of it. I enjoy the process. If it was so easy that you just got everything for free without the work, without the sacrifices, without the struggle, without the pain, without those challenging moments where you get tested and really understand if you're capable of doing this or not. If you don't have those, I swear to God, the ups don't feel as good either. Life is like this. Like it goes in waves. It flows. It's like your heart rhythm. If it stands still, you're flatlined. You're dead. Life doesn't work like that. It's always going to go in waves, up and down. So as long as my mind is prepared for that and expects it, then what is there really that can go wrong? You know? Yes, I can have bad moments. Yes, I can play a bad game. Yes, maybe a coach don't play me at a certain point in time. But does that mean I'm a bad person? No. Does that mean I'm doing something wrong? No, absolutely not. It's just a part of the journey. Rather than letting that tear you down, embrace it. Embrace all those things that happen to you and change the perspective to see how it actually happens for you and not to you. Don't be a victim, be a victor. Be someone that takes charge and owns everything that happens to you and around you. That way you can affect those things. That way you can put in action and thought and energy into changing it. And that's ultimately what's going to get you to where you want to be. That's it for now. And I hope you enjoyed hearing a bit more about my journey, what's happened so far and where I've been. And man, I'm so excited for everything that's about to come as well. We're on a non-stop journey. It's never ending, and I'm all for it. Stay blessed and stay amazing. Peace.